Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I wanted to show you guys how I created these filters for the shop page using JetSmartFilters inside of WordPress and Elementor. Now in my previous videos you guys remember when I was going over showing you guys the different types of products or the different product types that you can add to your WooCommerce shop. So here is the simple product, here is the digital product. This one is our affiliate, this one is our group, and this one was our variable product. Now that we have already created our products, now the next phase is to obviously create the shop page. So as you see, this is the custom shop page I created for my products. And over on this left hand side, we have these nice sets of filters. So for the filters, I did use JetSmartFilters to achieve this. So I did the search filter, the select filter, the checkbox filter, and the range filter, because for the most part, these are going to be the most simplest ones you can do, especially if you're doing a shop. So let's look at the search filter. So let's just search for men's. Hit apply. And as you see, only our men's t-shirt popped up. The next one we have is the select filter, and I have it to select by brand. So each products I did select a brand, just a fake testing brand, so I can show you guys how these filters would work. And you see I have these three here. So if I was to choose anime, then you see our one anime t-shirt actually pops up underneath the anime brand. If I were to choose Nike, then you'll see only our men's t-shirts pop up. Then I have a checkbox filter right here, and I have the checkbox filtering to go based off the category. So each product is put into their own category, and if I were to just choose the affiliate product category, you will see that this is the only product within that category. If I was to close this one and let's just say do one of the digital products, then we will only see our digital product display. And then last but not least, we have the range filter. So if I were to, as you see, we have 30 to 40 here, 9 to 15, we have $15 there, 40 and $9 here. As you can see right off the rip, our smallest price is $9. And as you see, our price range filter did start off at $9. The highest price we have on our products is $40. If I were to say I want something in between $18 and let's say $30, then you will see this one right here. It's the only one that will fit, or the only product that will fit in this price range. If I said I only wanted things that were maybe, let's say $30 to $40, and then we have these three right here. Now that you get the gist of how the product filters or the JetSmart filters will work for your products on the shop page, let's hop right into the tutorial. So now that I'm on my WordPress dashboard, I'm going to scroll down until I see Crocoblock. Because like I said before, you do need the Crocoblocks JetSmartFilters in order to use this feature. Crocoblock is one of those suite of tools that you can use to make super dynamic websites. And in this terms, we're going to be using it for the WooCommerce functionality, which grants us so many different types of filters. This isn't even a sponsored video for Crocoblock. I just personally love them, and I do suggest that you use this if you are looking to make a more dynamic, a more custom and organic feel for your WooCommerce website. If you are curious in using Crocoblock for yourself in your own site, or for you being a web designer and you want to use it on some client sites, I highly recommend it, and I will have a link down in the description box. Now let's get right back into the tutorial. So again, from your dashboard, you want to make sure that you already have Crocoblock installed and activated. Once you do, you will see this new tab, and the first thing you need to go to is the update and installation. Once you do that, you'll be prompted to this page, and as you see, you are going to see a bunch of different Jet engine plugins or Jet plugins. Right here, you will see that none of these are installed because they have the little install button, which is super amazing because you don't necessarily have to install all of these widgets or these plugins at once. You can just go based on the ones that you need for your website. So for the purpose of this tutorial, for the filters, all you need to make sure that you do have activated will be the JetSmartFilters and the Jet Woo Builder. You will need both of these in order to make this thing work. Once you have those activated, let's go ahead and scroll down to where you see the Smart Filters tab, and let's add a new filter. So as you see, we have the filter name, the filter type, and we have some additional settings down here that will propagate after we actually choose which type of filter we're going to be using, because obviously each filter requires a different set of settings. Now for our first filter, we're going to be creating the search filter. Now it is super important, just a little disclaimer, to already have some products and already have your stuff categorized in different ways and kind of know how you want people to kind of filter through your products. That way it makes this process easy in terms of finding out what type of filters you want to create. So the first filter we're going to be making will be the search filter. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a name. For the name, I chose search filter, then I did put at the end of it product shop page. This little piece at the end is super important because this will remind me every time I'm looking for the filters, let's just say a year or two from now, even some months from now, if I want to know what filter I use or where this filter was located on my website, it tells me right here because I named it properly. So make sure that you are naming your filters properly. And right here, the filter types you see, you have quite a few of filters that you can play around with. The rating one is also a good one to use in terms of your shop pages if you're going to be having the review ratings listed on your website. And also the visual one is a really good one, which I will have a video tutorial showing you guys how I created that in my latest tutorial that will be out soon. So if this is going to be the search filter, we should be grabbing this search filter as our filter type. I'm going to now scroll down, and for the search by, we're just going to select the default WordPress search. If you did any custom fields beforehand, or let's say you're working with a client who already has some custom fields and you're trying to use this for their custom query variable or something like that, then of course choose this one and proceed forward. But if you're just keeping it simple with your WooCommerce products, default WordPress search is the one you need to choose. Then the next thing is going to pop up is the placeholder. So if we just check this out, you will see that it says search for product right here in this little field area. This is considered your placeholder text. How is because once I start to click in here, you see it goes away. If I delete it, you see it pops back up. This is just an indication to let the customer or any viewer viewing the website know that this field is something that they could be actively using, so they can search for a product. So for my placeholder text, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep the text search, but I'm going to add for product. And the use default filter value, we do not need that. And down here, you have two additional settings. You have the filter label and the active filter label. I'm not going to go over this in this tutorial because this isn't a big shop. And if you need a label for it, let's just say, let me go back to our, so you see right here where I have this text right here, I created this custom, but let's just say you're not into, design, you're not design savvy. You don't necessarily have to put your own heading right here. You could just, let's go back. You could just type in like search for search field. You could put something right here and that will be the label that sits above the actual filter. But for me, I personally don't like to use their labels and I like to use my own, as you see right here, or you will see later in the tutorial. So now that I don't need any of these things, I'm just going to scroll back up to the top and I'm going to update. The search filter is one of the easiest ones to do because as you see, we're already done. So if I just go back over here underneath these smart filters and click on all filters, you'll now see our search filter that we just created is right here. Let's create one more before we actually hop into the front end in Elementor to actually show you guys how to put it on the actual shop page. I'm going to go ahead and add new. And our second filter is going to be a select filter. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a name. So I'm going to go with select filter, and this is going to be for the product shop page. For the filter type, I'm going to choose the select filter. Going to scroll down. And we have some simple settings here for now. Is this hierarchical? It is not. I will talk about this deeper in another video if you guys would want to know more about that. But since this tutorial don't require any hierarchy in the filters, I'm not going to need that. So I'm going to keep that disabled. For the data source, we're going to choose taxonomy. Now, why am I choosing the taxonomy? If we just scroll back up and let's pay attention to this left side panel over here. Underneath the products, this is the filters we're making these for. That's why I said it's super important to know what you're making your filters for because this will help you quite a bit. So since I know I'm making this filter for my product, I'm going to go over here to product, and as you see, once I hover over it, you see all of these other options right here. I'm going to use this filter to be selected by brands. And brands is considered a taxonomy. So if I hover back over here, all of these right here are post types. Once you hover over one and you have all these additional options for this post type of products, these right here are considered to be your taxonomies. So if I know I'm making this filter for the brands, I know that I need the source to be taxonomies. So the data source will be taxonomies, but of course, if you have some custom fields, you can simply do that as well. If you're doing your blog post, you can simply do that as well. I'm gonna go with taxonomies because I know I wanna pull my brands, and the taxonomy will obviously be brands. So I'm gonna look for brand, and there it is. So again, your source is going to be taxonomy, and then now you have to choose the taxonomy type, which in our case will be brands. You can also do this with product categories. So you see product categories right there. Let's say you don't have brands for your particular shop, but you do have categories. You can use that. You can go by the tags. It's totally up to you. We're going to scroll down a little bit more, and then you see terms by order. I'm going to keep this on name, but you do have slug, ID, count, description, meta key, and etc. For ease of use, just keep it on name. If you know what you're doing and you want to, for some odd reason, go by slug or ID, go ahead. But for this, it's just going to be names because we're using names for our brand types. The term order, I'm going to keep on ascending, but you do have descending as well. So what does ascending mean? Ascending just means from beginning to end, from 1 to 10, from A to Z, right? And then for descending, that's the opposite. So it's from the end to the beginning, from 10 to 1, and from Z to A. That's pretty much all that is, and they will be going based off your product. So just make sure that whatever order you want your products and your filtering to go by, just make sure you think about that when you're choosing ascending and descending. I'm going to keep mine on ascending. Again, we have another placeholder. So for here, I will be choosing, let's say select a brand. We'll keep it at that. Select a brand. So the next one you see, we have show empty terms. Now I'm going to keep this disabled for now, but I will come back and enable it just so I can show you guys a little bit more of what it means. But essentially it's just saying, do you want to show the brand types even if they're empty? So remember, this filter is for the brands. And this right here is basically asking, do you want to show the brand types that you have even if they're empty? So as you see, this is the products that we have. And if you pay attention right here, it says brands. And as you see, I have 3 of the products, or actually I have 2 of the products with an actual brand associated with it. But I actually have 3 brands because if we go to the brands tab, you will see that the different brands I have is anime brand, I have Dior brand, and then I also have Nike brand. Don't mind the fact that it says anime as a brand. Listen, this is just for tutorial purposes. But you see I have 3 brands, and as you see, anime has 1, Dior has 0, and Nike has 1, meaning the products that are associated with it. I have 1 product in anime, 1 product in Nike, 0 in Dior. So this piece right here is simply asking, do you want to show Dior even though it's empty? I'm going to keep it disabled for now, but I think you guys get the picture. I will still show you a little bit later if you want to enable it, what that'll look like. We're going to scroll down some more. We're going to skip these 2 because we do not have anything associated with these for now. And right here is a super important one. If you want to exclude or include any of the brands. So for instance, if you want to exclude, so let's just say you want to exclude Nike and you want to exclude anime from popping up as a filter type, you can simply do that. You can also do the same with include. Let's say you only want to include Dior and Nike in the filter types and you don't want the other one to pop up at all. But for now, I'm not going to use any exclude and including because I honestly only have 3 brands, so I just want to show all of my brands. I'm also going to skip the custom query and the default filter value because again, they're not needed. And lastly, you will have the filter label and the active filter label. Again, we're not using them. I'm going to be creating my own, so I'm going to skip that as well. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top and I'm going to update. Now, as you see, we have two filters created. We have our search filter created and we have the select field created. Now, before we create the next two, let's go ahead and hop into Elementor just so I can show you guys how to add this on your shop page. So now we're inside of Elementor on the shop page, which we want to add our filters to. And as you guys see, we just have this two container section right here. We have this container on the left that will house our filters. And then we have this container on the right, which houses our products. So if we just hover over this is why I said installing the JetWoo page builder is also going to be important, because to connect the filter, you need to connect it to a product grid. And in this case, we're going to go ahead and use the Crocoblocks Jet product grid widget. So if I click here, you'll see that this is the products grid. So if I just scroll down to the bottom, I can quickly show you guys how I got this right here. So of course your page will be empty. You'll come to the flex box. You would choose a structure. Most times if you're going to be doing filters, you want a side that's slightly smaller in size or skinnier in size than another one. So right here on the right one, you're going to go up here to add a widget, and the widget you're going to be looking for is going to be, if you just type in product, you will see the product grid right here. You'll only see this widget if you do have the JetWoo page builder installed. So make sure you have it installed. Once you do, you just pop that in and it will bring up all of your products right here. We only have 4 products, so this is all we're gonna see, but you can obviously just choose your columns, and of course you can show and hide whatever you don't want, and you have a lot of settings here. I'm not gonna go over this in this video because this isn't a product grid tutorial. This is a smart filters tutorial, but you guys get the gist. So right here you see we have our search filter first. So let's just go back and let's just type in the widgets area. Let's type in filter. Once you type in filter, you're going to see all of those different JetSmartFilters that we actually see back here. Let's say if we add new, all of these that we see right here, you'll also see them right here in the widgets tab. So the first one we use was a search filter. So we need to search for the search filter, which is right here. We're just going to drag it in. Now the widget is here, but you need to choose the filter type before it even shows up. So if it's ever gray, that means you either don't have the one selected or you don't have any products defined to even show a filter right there. So the first thing we're going to do is type in, we're going to type in search. That's what we named that filter. And there it is. We're going to choose that filter type. And then we're going to say that this filter is going to be for the JetWoo Builder products grid. Because remember, I just told you guys that this right here, this widget is the products grid that came from JetWoo Builder. So the way you're going to get these to connect is make sure that underneath here, when you say, well, where it says this filter is for, you need to choose what you're using right here on this right hand side. So for us, we're using the JetWoo Builder product grid. So that's the one we'll choose. For the apply type, you have 4 different options. You have Ajax on typing, you have page reload, and you have mixed. Ajax, that just means simply once you either press enter or apply filter, it will just reload and start searching, and then they will propagate right here. Or let me not say propagate, they will pop up right here. If you choose Ajax on typing, which is a really good one for the search filter actually, this means that, let's click on it. This means that once you start typing out your the text, and it says right here minimum number of letters, so you have to have a minimum number of letters before it starts to search or filter the results for you. So example, if you were to, let's just say 5 letters, this is just saying you have to type in at least men's in the letter T in order for it to start searching for any results. Or if you do 3, you need to at least type in men's or Annie or Crow in order for the filters to start giving you the results. Which, like I said, this one is the perfect one for the search widget. It won't really work on anything else that's not requiring you to search. Then you have the page reload. So this is just saying if you choose this, once you are ready for the filter to show you the results, it will reload the entire page. Then you have mix, which will just be a mix of all of these, which you really won't use. For the most part, you will be using Ajax or Ajax on typing. Now, if you do choose Ajax, let's go back to that one. You see we do have the apply filter button. But if we were to choose Ajax on typing, the apply filter button goes away. Again, because this one, Ajax on typing, will start to fetch you the results without you having to press enter or press the apply button. If you do want people to actually type out everything they want and then press apply button, then you have that. Or let's just say you don't want it to Ajax on typing like this, but you also don't want this button. You want people to actually click the enter button on our keyboard. You can simply do that by simply clicking this button right here to hide the apply button. Once you do that, now it's still on Ajax, so it won't necessarily start fetching results as you're typing. They will have to press enter on their keyboard. I'm really hoping this makes some sense. I just wanted to go through these because I know at the beginning I had no idea what these were, and I wish somebody explained them thoroughly to me. But for right now, let's go with Ajax on typing. I'll show you guys kind of how that works, and then we can switch it up later. We're not going to worry about the query ID because obviously we didn't do any querying with these. So the next thing to do is go and style it up. So you have the content, the input, the button, and the label. We're not going to worry about the label because we don't even have that. And the button, we're not going to worry about that because we don't have that. Before the input, which is the actual field right here, maybe let's just say you want this text color to match your branding. So we're going to go with that orange color. You can even change the background color. So let's just say you wanted it to be something a little bit more dark and fancy like that. You can just simply do that. You can even, change the transparency if you want. So it's totally up to you. And you even have the focus settings. So actually when someone clicks into it and it's actually focused or being used, you can have the colors and the background colors to change from there as well. I'm just going to keep it on the simple white color. I'm going to give the text color our orange color. And if you scroll down, you have some more options right here. You can give it a box shadow if you want, something like that. Just fix it up and make it a little bit more better. You have some padding, some margin, and etc. And like I said, even if you had the button, so let's just put the button on for now. Let's do the Ajax. Let's not hide the button. The button settings will be right here as well. So once it pops back up, so there it is. We go to style. We can go to the button now, and we can do the same thing. So we can give it a background color. Let's go with our secondary color, and let's make the text color white. And there we go. So if I just close this, now you see we have our search filter with our button. Now the next thing I want to do is add a heading, because for me, I like to add my own labels. So I'm going to add a heading right above it, and I'm just going to name this the search filter. Of course, don't name it search filter. I'm just naming this so that, you guys can understand what filter is which as we're going out the tutorial. So for you, you might say something like search products, or let's say you had a candle shop, you might say search candles. You want to keep yours pretty engaging, something that actually goes along with your store. So I'm going to put that back at filter, and for the style, I'm just going to give this a RAM of 1.5. There we go, and that's perfect for me. And I'm just going to keep it like that. I'm not trying to be too fancy, I'm just trying to get the point across. And there we go. There's our search filter. We're going to test it out in just a bit, but first let's go ahead and add our second filter. So our second filter was the select filter, because they can select a option from this bar. So again, we're going to go to add a widget. We're going to type in filter. And this time we're looking for the select filter, which is right here. I'm just going to drop that in right underneath there. So for the name, we are going to just search select, because that's what we named our filter. And there it is, it popped up. That's the one I want to use. And this filter is going to be for, again, the Jet WooBuilder products grid. We have the same options for the Ajax. We're going to keep it on this, and we can also keep it for value change, because this just means that once someone actually, if we go right here, this means once someone clicks on it, it actually go ahead and it fetches your results. But we're going to keep it on value change. And again, we're going to skip these options here because we don't need them. Again, we're going to go back to the style. You can then right here choose the width for it. So let's do percentage actually. Let's go ahead and do it at 100% so it can be in alignment with this one. For the select, basically that's this field again. So the field right here for the text color, we're going to keep on branding. So we're going to keep the consistency with the colors. I'm going to use the orange again. You have some more options here. Again, the border, box shadow, padding, and whatnot. We're not going to do a label, we don't have a button, and we don't have group filters, so we don't need any of these. But all of the options for you to design it up and, make it match your brand is right here. All I'm going to do is go to the search filter text. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to bring it right above. And so let's move this underneath. And I'm just going to name this to the select filter. Again, this is just for the purpose of the tutorial so you guys can remember what filters are being used. I'm also going to go to the advanced tab, and I'm going to give it 20 pixels of padding at the top, just so we can have some space between these two. And there we go. There's our select. So if I were to just publish this and view this, now you see we now have our first two filters. We have our search filters. So if we were to, let's just type in anime, apply filter, then we see anime pops up right there. I'm going to delete that, apply filter again. That's why I don't like the apply filter button, because after you type something in, let's just do that again. Let's put that back. I put in anime right here and I apply filter. Of course, it's gonna bring up the one product, but if I were to delete it and don't click the apply button, it's not going to do anything. I would have to kind of refresh the page or something. So that's why I don't necessarily like the apply filter button, but it's an option. So now for the select filter, we see our two brands right here. Now remember earlier I told you guys that we actually have, let's go back to it, we actually have three brands. We have Anime, Dior, and we have Nike. But right now only Anime and Nike is showing. Remember earlier in the smart filters setup? So if I go back to the select filter, let's scroll down. Remember right here where it says show empty terms, and I told you I was going to keep it disabled? That's exactly what that means. Since I have it disabled because I don't want it to show the empty terms, it's actually not showing me Dior because it's actually empty right now. If I wanted to show that, again, you can just toggle it on. You can update that, go back, you can refresh. Then now we see the Dior. But again, I wouldn't do that because actually when a client wants something and they see it and it does this right here, it's kind of like, what the heck? Why did I even click on it? Why is it even there? So that's just my personal preference. I just wouldn't have the empty one shown. But I just want to show you guys how that works. Also with the filters, remember I told you, when we do this, we gotta click the apply button to make it work. I'm gonna remove it so I can show you guys the Ajax on typing. So if I was to go back here to Ajax on typing, I'm going to keep it on 3. So the number of letters that needs to be typed in order for it to start fetching results need to be 3. I'm going to go ahead and publish. I'm going to go back here, refresh, and I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to start typing in. And as you see, I started typing in 3 letters and it's already starting, and there it is. And all I have to do is exit that out. Yeah, so since these look just alike, I think the button is better. So we're going to keep up with that. Let's go ahead and publish this, and let's make 2 more filters to end off the tutorial. So back underneath the smart filters, all filters, I'm going to add a new one. So the next one is the checkbox filter, and what we want to do now is basically filter by categories. So if I go back to our products, you will see that all of my products are here, and underneath this piece right here for categories, you see that all of my products actually have categories associated with them. Let's exit that out. And you even see that our men's t-shirt actually have 2 categories associated with them, which is going to be super important for the example that needs to be talked about in this type of filter. So since I have them in categories, I want to make this new filter a checkbox filters for the categories. Let's make that. So I'm going to give the filter a name. I'm going to name it the checkbox filter for the product shop page. And this time for the filter type, I'm going to do the checkbox list. Now you do see 2 different types of checkbox. You want to make sure for the one we're creating that you're using the checkbox list and not the check range filter, because that's not what we're doing. We're doing the checkbox list. I'm going to scroll down. Again, it's going to ask you, where are you going to get this source from? So again, we're going to go with taxonomies. Why are we choosing taxonomies? Because remember, underneath the products tab, category sits right here, which means it's also a taxonomy just like brands were. So for the taxonomy type, this time I'm going to choose product category. Now I do know that before you did see categories already right there. I'm not sure what this category is for actually. We're not using this one. We're using the product categories. I believe these categories is for the post types. but we're not doing categories for post types, we're doing categories for our products. So make sure you do scroll down to where you see all the product stuff and you do choose product categories. Scroll down some more. We're going to keep the term orders by the name, the term order for ascending, and right here is a super important one depending on how you have your store set up. So you have the relational operator. So if you choose union, this will mean show me all of the results that is associated with everything I have checked. You are basically saying show the results that has products that are either this or that. So if that doesn't make sense, let's go up here and use the illustration for an example. You see right here for the checkbox filter, you have two checkbox. You have this checkbox right here, and then you have another one right here. Now let's just say both of these checkboxes was checked right now. So you're filtering and you check this one and you check this one. If both of these are checked, that just means that the results they're going to show you is going to be products that is either this one or this one. So if this is blue and this is green, they're going to show you products that has either blue or either green. So you're going to have, if you have an actual product that is blue and you have one that is green, you're going to see two products. Why? Because one product is blue and one product is green. We're going to have the blue check and we're going to have the green check. If you have intersection as your relation, it's going to only bring up the product that has both blue and green. So if you have blue checked and green checked, the product is going to show one product that has both blue and green. So maybe this hat or this sock may have both the color blue and green on it. Then it's going to bring up that only one product. It's not going to show you the product that's only blue or the product that's only green. It's going to bring you the product that has both of those colors in it. If that doesn't make sense, I'm going to explain it more while we're actually, putting it on, and I'm going to show you guys on the front end. But for the purpose of ours, we're going to keep it on the union for now. And we're going to skip the show empty terms, and we're going to skip these right here. And again, you have the exclude and include. So again, if you want to exclude certain, what are we doing this time? Product categories. If you want to exclude some of those, so let's just say I want to exclude, let's wait till this pop up. I want to exclude the uncategorized. So let's just say I make a product and I forget to categorize it. It's going to automatically default that product to uncategorized. I don't want to show uncategorized. I only want the filters to show the categories that I actually have set. So I'm going to actually exclude that one. And we're going to skip these. And of course, we're going to skip the filter labels and things like that. Let's go back up to the top and update. So now if we go back to the filters, now we have our fourth or our third filter, the checkbox filter. Now let's make our last filter, which is going to be the range filter. Again, we're going to be under the smart filters list. We're going to add new. We're going to give it a name. Range filter, we're going to be going by price, and it's going to be for the product shop page. So for the filter type this time, we're going to choose the range. We're going to scroll down. And right here it says get the min and max dynamically. We're going to choose get these from the WooCommerce min and max prices, because that's what we are doing our filter for. We're doing it for our WooCommerce product. So I need to go by the WooCommerce min and max prices. And for the step, we're going to go with 1 because we want our prices to go 9, 10, 11, 12. If you were to choose something like 10, it's going to go in increments of 10. It's going to go 10, then 20, then 30. We don't want our prices to go like that. We want it to go in steps of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 10, 11, 12, 13. Hopefully you get the picture. Right here, I will choose my prefix to be a $sign, but if you are somewhere else in the world, you can either keep it blank or you can use your symbol. And for the suffix, I'm going to do decimal 00 because I'm going in dollars. And we can keep all of this pretty much blank or don't touch it at all. And right here, it says this field right here is definitely required, which is definitely needed. We're going to click this dynamic tool and we're going to choose the WooCommerce price filter by product price, because this is how we want to filter. Because if you look down here, there's going to be a lot of different numbers that's going to be associated with WooCommerce products. You have your weights, you have your length and width of your products, you have your sale dates and prices, but you want to only do the price by or the price range filter by the price of the product. So we're going to choose that first one. Or if you want to get to it faster, just remember to do underscore price. And we're going to skip all of this and we're going to go ahead and update. And now it's time to add our last two filters. So let's go ahead and duplicate our label. I'm going to just pop it underneath here. I'm going to change the name to, what's the first one that we're going to do? Checkbox. So let's do checkbox filter. Now again, you're going to go to the widgets. You're going to type in filter. This time, of course, we're going to be using the checkbox filter. I'm going to drop it underneath there. I'm going to search for the checkbox filter that I just created. This filter is going to be for the Jet Wool Builder products grid. And I'm going to keep all of this pretty much the same. I do want it to change on value change. So as I'm clicking each one, I want it to go ahead and fetch my results. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm going to go to the style tab. And this part is pretty cool. I think it's really, really neat. So let's just say you actually wanted your filters to sit on top of your products here. You can just easily put them right there. And so now that it's up here, it don't really look good going like this in a directional column. But what if we could make it go sit across the top in a line like that? I love it because you can just simply click like that and there you go. Now they're sitting up on top of the products in a line, direction, or position, which I think that's super, super dope. Because if you start to edit this, you can make this look really nice and really different to the point where it might not even look like a checkbox filter when you're done with it. I actually did this on one of my latest tutorials. I'll be sharing with you guys how to, create a full e-commerce shop. So be sure you guys are subscribed to see that one. We're going to put this back at column and we're going to just bring it right back down here. So of course there are some other options you have right here to edit. So everything here is for this checkbox filter. One of the things I do want to do is go to the checkbox, and I want to actually change the background color of my normal checkbox to, let's just use our orange color. I'm going to put no border because I saw that little border right there. And when it's checked, I actually want the background color to be green. I think that'll be really nice. And I'm going to show you guys what they look like. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do for this tutorial, but you do have way more of options here. If you guys have the apply button in the label, you can edit that up as well. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and duplicate this label to do our last filter type. And this one is the range filter. And we're going to go back to the widgets. We're going to search for the filter. And what we're going to be choosing is the range filter. We're just going to drop that in right there. We're going to choose our range filter that we created in the back end. This one. For the Jet Products Grid. That's what this filter is for. And of course, I'm going to keep all of this the same because I do want the values and everything to change on, as I'm scrolling through it. So I don't need to mess with any of this. I want to keep that just the same. But I will go to the style and I will do a little bit of styling. So let's just say the color for the default, I want it to be our orange. You can't see it because it's the default color. So that means it's going to be this orange color as it moves. But the range of which, that's the one we see here, I just want that one to be our light green. Let's just go with that. And for the range points, let's just say I want the background color for these to be, let's go with our darker color here. And that's pretty much it. You got a lot of other stuff, again, that you can edit. Like each filter come with their own set of settings that you can do to edit it and make it look exactly how you want it to match your store. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and wait. The last thing I do want to do, let me go back to here. I do want to change the values. I'm going to go to the value. I do want this to be a bit more bold. Let's go for semi-bold. And I'm going to change the color here. Let's just go for orange. And let's go ahead and publish this and see what we got. Okay, so before we just had this, so I'm just going to go ahead and refresh. And now we have our 2 added filters. So now we have 4 filters sitting on our product page. I already showed you guys the search. You just start typing in what you got and then oops, I didn't finish spelling out anime, but it's going to capture that for me. And there it is. We have anime. All right, we're going to just go ahead and clear that out. Then underneath the select filter, again, it's showing all of our different brands. So if I just choose Nike, the only product that is branded with Nike will be right there. Now our checkbox filters. So remember, these were categories. So if I want to see, let's just say, remember this right here, it was an affiliate product. I showed you guys how to add affiliate product to your website. So this one was categorized affiliate product. So if I were to just click on affiliate product now, you guys see that this one pops up. You'll also see that once it's actually focused, aka now that I actually have one of the checkboxes defined, I actually see this green check right there now. I see that green check. So I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck that. Then we have the range filter. So as you guys see, it already took account for the prices that we actually have on our website. So these 5 products right here, you will notice that the highest price I have is 40 on these 4 or these 3 right here. And then you see the smallest price I have is $9. And the price range is automatically worked out of the box. It already has that for me. So if I only wanted products to show that's in the price range of $9 and $20, you'll see that only these products right here are popping up. And as you see, it pretty much works. Now going back to this checkbox filter, because remember, I wanted to show you guys a little bit more in depth on what that union and intersection means when it comes to the checkbox filter. So underneath the all filters, remember it was that checkbox filter that had that option. So we're gonna go back to our checkbox filter. And remember, we have ours on relational operator of union. So now let's check this out. If I were to say I want to view the digital products and the affiliate products, as you see, both of them are showing. This product only has affiliate product as the category, and this digital product only has digital product as the category, because they're honestly 2 totally different product types. So I wouldn't have them in both of the categories. This one is just an affiliate product, and this one is just a digital product. And as then, if I uncheck affiliate, you see only that digital product pops up. If I were to do group product, you see now the group product and the ebook is popping up, because this right here is saying you want me to show you the results for digital products, which it did right here, and you wanted me to show you the products that are categorized group products. So now I'm going to show you both of the products that are associated with both of these checks. Now let's take this same idea, the digital product and the group product. Let's take this same thing and switch our filter. Let's switch it from the union to intersection, and let's update. And now let's check what happens. Let's go ahead and refresh. And let's do the same thing. Let's choose digital products, but let's also choose that group product and see what pops up. As you see, no products were found. Why is that? Because now on intersection, you're saying show me a product that has both digital product and group product as their category, but there isn't any. But if we take a look right here at our products, you will see that under the men's t-shirt for the category, I actually have 2 categories. I have this men's t-shirt categorized under the anime t-shirts as well as the men's t-shirts. So let's test this out. So let's uncheck these, because there's no product that has both digital product and group product as the category. But like we just saw, we do have a product that has anime. Both of these are anime, but which one is anime and a men's t-shirt? Let's see. Yep, there you go. So now you see the difference between the union and the intersection. The union brought up both products that were either or. But as you see, this intersection is saying we're going to only bring you up the product that has both of the things that you have selected in this filter. Because again, if we were to take this men's t-shirt away, we actually do have 2 things that are categorized anime. This one is categorized anime t-shirt as well as this one, because we only have one thing checked right now. But the moment we check the men's t-shirt, we're saying pull me back or give me back the results that have anime t-shirts and men's t-shirts. I hope that makes sense. And that's exactly how you use the JetSmartFilters widget to add filters to your shop page in WordPress. Now, if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below what videos you would like to see next. That's all I have for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.